Did you recently start playing Guild Wars 2 but are a bit overwhelmed by what the heck is going on? Well, don't worry, because after this video you will know all there is to know on how to get a smooth start in the world of Tyria. After downloading and installing the game, you will have the option of choosing your server. As long as you make sure that you select the correct region, NA or Europe, the server you pick will have little impact. If you plan on doing world versus world with friends, however, give them a poke and ask which server they're on. In general though, if you have friends playing the game already, do this. It makes things easier really. After selecting your forever new home, it's time to make your character. There are 5 races to choose from, and what race or gender you choose will hardly impact the game. Mainly the main storyline, and races do get race-specific abilities, which nobody really uses later on in the game, so feel free to pick female human like everyone else. When you finally settled on your female human, it's time to choose a class. The free-to-play edition lets you choose between 8 classes. Those that purchased Heart of Thorns get 1 extra. The Revenant, a warrior type that channels powerful spirits. The 8 others are Warrior, typical here's a sword go kill stuff character. Guardian, a vengeful paladin type. Thief, not a rogue, but close. Engineer, builds turrets, flamethrowers and blows shit up. Ranger, has a pet. Necromancer, has undead pets. Elementalist, fire, water, earth and air. Something, avatar, something. And finally, Mesmer, illusions. Pick a class you think will be fun to play, though some are easier to start with than others. Ranger, for example, will be a lot easier than an Elementalist, though you'll get used to it over time, so don't worry about it too much. Another thing to know is that Guild Wars 2 doesn't really work like other MMOs with a tank, healer, DPS setup. It's more focused on damage mitigation and sustaining through fights, and almost all classes can fulfill multiple roles. One last thing on classes. Each class has 3 separate specializations, which can completely change the way the class is played. These specializations are unlocked after reaching max level and if you own the corresponding expansion. So for free-to-play players, these are unavailable. This doesn't mean that your max level character won't be good, however. I have all specializations, but my ranger is still a core ranger. Alright, next step is to customize. Make it look fabulously however you want. Give it some attributes which will only affect the storyline a teeny tiny bit. Give it a snazzy name, and you're ready to launch the game. An awesome cinematic will play depending on your choices while making your character, and you will be put in your starting zone. For the next couple of minutes, however, you will be in an instant version of the zone called your story instance. Open up your map and you will see these red lines. These indicate a no-no zone within your story instance. Step too long into a no-no zone and you will be teleported out. Just follow the green arrow in your upper right corner, follow the storyline, beat the big baddie at the end of this storyline, and you will be free to roam the land of Guild Wars 2. Okay, so now that you've been given your sock and you're free to go wherever you want, where do you start? A good place is this person right here with a looking glass above their head. They will give you a quick summary of the immediate area and point you towards general questing areas or points of interest. Questing in Guild Wars 2 doesn't really work the same as it does in most MMOs. When coming on the general area where a heart is, which is the Guild Wars 2 version of quests, a summary of what you need to do pops up in the upper right corner of your screen. This is oftentimes a combination of things. Gathering items, killing creatures, taking care of animals. Completing this heart will grant you experience, money, and a specific currency called karma. After completing this heart, it will show as full, and it is now a vendor where you can spend your earned karma. As you level up through the world of Tyria, your personal story will follow along, and as you reach certain levels, more and more of your story will open up. This is indicated by the green star on your upper right corner, and a summary of your story so far can be found on your hero screen, default H button, and then the section Story. I would advise to keep up with your personal story while you're leveling as well. Each progression into your personal story will give you appropriate loot and goodies. Doing these quests isn't the only way to get experience, however. Exploring the map, gathering herbs, minerals or wood, doing jumping puzzles or finding vantage points called vistas, indicated by this red triangle, are all ways to level up your character. If you open up your map, you can check the upper left corner and see how many hearts, points of interest, vistas, waypoints and hero points you can still discover on this map. The hero points are oftentimes slightly stronger monsters or locations you need to interact with, which will give you some experience and a hero point. These hero points are then used to unlock different abilities in your hero screen. Completing a map gives a rather large chunk of experience as well as some goodies. Another great way to get some good experience is dynamic events. These can pop up all over the map and are definitely worth your time. A lot of these are also event chains where if one event ends, another will start, forming a great way to get experience while you're traveling. After the event, you will get experience based on your contribution. Copper, silver, or gold. PvP is also a way to get experience as you can enter PvP lobbies as a low level even. Doing so will boost you up to max level, unlock all of your abilities, and give you basic gear that everyone gets in PvP. However, for new players, this might feel like jumping into the deep end of the pool when you're still learning to swim, so I wouldn't recommend it. As we previously stated, gathering is also a way to get experience, so make sure you have gathering tools equipped at all times. Not so much for the experience, but you will need a lot of materials in endgame crafting. Another thing to have on hand are these salvage kits to disassemble any item you no longer need and get the raw materials. You can store these materials using this button right here. If you want to reach your stored materials, you can head over to a banker in the city. These bankers allow access to an account-wide storage, as well as your specific material storage. Alright, you have danced for cows, killed bandits, and jumped over bat-filled holes all the way up to level 80. Now what? By now you've had plenty of time in the game to figure out if you think the expansions are going to be worth it, yes or no. Which, let's face it, for their price, it's a steal. But if not, and you want to continue the free-to-play experience still, well, there's plenty to do even then. There is PvP, world versus world, dungeons, achievement hunting, fashion collecting, map completion. Completing the core map gives you this nice little icon, by the way, so you can show everyone you spent way too much time crawling through dark holes to get to the last point of interest which you can never find. And much more. If you want to gear your character though, my advice would be to use a website like MetaBattle to see which builds for your characters are strong, check what kind of gear you need, and see if you can either buy or make them yourself. You can also look into the various dungeons, since each dungeon gives you dungeon-specific currency, which can be used to buy gear right here in Lion's Arch. You will notice that the Guild Wars 2 community in general is very welcoming to new players and are often very happy to help. Especially guilds are rather open to new players and don't mind helping out either, so why not join one? Guilds can also organize special events called guild events, which will give you some easy gold. Now that you spent some hours on your character and you know them a bit more, you may want to try and head into the PvP area by using this button right here. Or if you're into a bit more chaos, why not the World vs. World lobby in the mists by clicking this button? PvP and World vs. World aren't really my thing, as I put value on my mouse and keyboard. If you've been able to save up some gold, you may want to try and hit the O button to bring up the Black Lion Market, the in-game auction house. Here you can use your hard-earned cash and spend it on items other players are selling. The Black Lion Market also hosts a gem store where Guild Wars 2 holds its microtransactions. Most items on this gem store are cosmetics like outfits or mount skins, though some of them are quality of life upgrades like bank storage expansion or shared inventory slots for all of your characters. Gems can be bought with real money, or you can trade your gold in for gems so your wallet doesn't suffer. The final advice I can give you is that subbing to this channel will help you even more, but for now, this is about all you need to know to get a head start in your adventures through Tyria. So go out, have fun, and I'll see you in my next vid.